Hey guys, it's me, Megan. So today I got good news. I got my new contract. Yay! So, as a travel nurse, once one contract ends, you have to pick up a new contract. So, I got my new contract today. So, I'm kind of excited. So, I thought I would do kind of a fun video. And that's kind of a combination of how I get ready for a travel contract and kind of I know people have like a what's in their bag. I have a what's on my duty belt. So, I, as a trauma nurse, I always have to have like things at the ready, just in case shit pops off. So this is what I call my duty belt, okay? So I know cops have duty belts, whatever. This is my duty belt. When I go to work, and it's great for travel nurses, but any trauma nurse, basically any ER nurse, because I tell you what, even before I was a travel nurse, I once delivered a baby out in the rain in the driveway, in the dark, of my hospital. And another time I found another nurse in our parking structure, miscarrying, and she almost bled to death. She was in her car, and the only reason I found her was because she had started to pull into a parking spot and had stopped and was basically blocking me from being able to leave that day. That's the only reason I found her. So you just never know what crap you'll find. Even, we've found people who've overdosed on heroin out on our loading dock. So you just never know what you'll find even outside your hospital as you're walking into work, as you're going out on your smoke break, which you're not supposed to do. I'm just saying it happens. Not that I would ever do that. Enough said. Anyway, so as I'm starting to get my stuff together for my new contract, which is at a large level 1 teaching trauma center hospital, I'm getting all my paperwork done. So in my bag, you'll see how I prepare for that is I have my binder, and in your binder you should always carry a copy of your documents, including your contract, all of your health paperwork that they required. You always carry your own copies, because it never fails on the first day of orientation. They'll say, oh, we can't find your PPD, or we can't find this, we can't find that. So bring your own copies of everything, your license, all that stuff. So that's in my bag. I always carry reference books that I think I might need, just in case. I do have some extra tools in here that I'm a little OCD, but extra tools that I might need. So the ones that I do, however, keep on me at all time are trauma shears. Now, as you can see, these are basic, and I do mean basic ass trauma shears. Now, there's a story behind why I just have some broke ass basic trauma shears. I'm a little salty about it, but it has to do with a car, me being angry, and I'm not ready to unpack that personal info yet, because anyway, I just ordered me some new Raptors, and they should be coming soon to replace the old shears that I had for 15 years, but we won't get into that. And right here, as you can see, TQ, what's that stand for? Tourniquet. Always have one of these. And the reason you should always have one of those is if EMS or whoever brings a patient in and it's a traumatic amputation and they are bleeding, bleeding to death, basically, because they have no tourniquet on. You're gonna need that or they're gonna die. And I will say I have had that happen. I won't say what particular EMS service in what major metropolitan area brought in a traumatic amputation with no IV access and no tourniquet, because as I say, I don't believe you should judge and definitely don't bully EMS. You know, I don't know what the situation was out there because, like I said, they wear bulletproof vests, but there was no tourniquet and that man died. But anyway, always have a tourniquet at the ready because it's literally life and death, okay? In my little first aid bag, I have 1 dose of intranasal Narcan. Intranasal Narcan. I don't know where you live. This is available over the counter. I sent my son to college with multiple ones of these and explicit instructions on how to use it. Okay? I also have a dose that can be used IV, but I also have another intranasal one, the little converter. Okay? I also have ammonia inhalants for those drama queens that like to pretend that they DFO'd and done passed out on you when we know that that ain't true. Okay, got a little bit of quick clot in here. Some, this little handy dandy thing that I just picked up. Something that drives me absolutely crazy. When I go to a facility and you know you can never find thermometers because they're attached to the wall, even if you're at your own hospital. They're never, you know, they're attached to the wall. They're never, you can't find them. You're trying to do vital signs so you can do the last set of vital signs to discharge a person. Well, I found this little handy dandy thing here, which got it at CVS. I had a coupon. I'm not even gonna lie. I like to be cheap. Like, if I can, I'm a couponer. I got a kid in college, what can I say? Anyway, this little handy bugger can plug into said iPhone that I am now taping on. Taping, oh my God, I'm totally giving away my age, that I'm videoing on right now. Anyway, so this little handy dandy thing can plug into my iPhone. Go, I got a temperature. I can take people's temp with it. Boom. So that makes my life easy because I get so damn sick and tired of having to look for thermometers in unfamiliar hospitals. And even familiar hospitals, half the time shit's broke. You can't find it, and all you want to do is discharge your patient and get them out the door, and you spend 15 minutes looking for your damn vital signs machines. Ugh, that drives me crazy. I don't know if it does you, but it really pisses me off when I can't find basic shit to do my job. So that's why I have a duty belt, so I have the shit that I need to do my job, and I don't have to waste 15 minutes looking for some basic trifling shit. Just saying. Oh, flashlight. This is an LED one. This right here, you will blind the shit out of somebody if you try to check their pupils with this. This is not what this one here is for. This is when you are trying to insert Foleys or look into crevices or things like that. That's what this one's for. I have it on a pull string because otherwise things like this tend to disappear. So that's what that is. And let's see, so we've gone over our tourniquet and flashlight. This here, you can see with the little red cross on it, is where my iPhone is always stashed, okay? I also have inside it 2 of these adorable, if I can get them out, of these little baby composition books. I love these. One, you see, they're like the composition books that we used as a kid because they're stitched. And you know the flip kind that have the little metal rings that gets caught on everything and tears shit up? This doesn't have that. I always have two. One, because when I go to a new hospital, there's always a bunch of new phone numbers that you gotta write down. So I'm writing down all the new phone numbers, all the new extensions, the tube system numbers, the, you know, the pharmacy's phone number, security's phone number, blah, blah, blah. My access into the computer, access into Epic, access into the Pyxis, all those things. So one is going to be hospital specific. And then I have the other one for writing down report on my patients. So, oh, okay, yeah, that one might have had some names on it, so you don't look at that. So that's what I have in there. And then it also has where my iPhone always goes too. So that's that. Then next to that is my little carabiner here with my pulse ox. So, my little handy dandy pulse ox. So this right here is so that I don't have to go hunting around trying to find a machine, trying to get somebody's pulse ox. Okay? It also comes in really handy when you're at first look in triage and you've got 15 people standing in line waiting to check in, and you look at the very back and somebody looks gray and looks like they're struggling to breathe, and you got that nurse gut feeling like, ugh, that man don't look right. So when I used to be in triage at first look all the time, because we would have the registration lady out front, and then we would have a nurse out front, basically to do just that, to look and see, to pull somebody out of line if they look like they were finna die or something. And it worked very well, because there was many times we would catch like a STEMI, and when you've got 15 people in line, I would get my butt out from behind the desk, walk past everybody, and go to see that one person. If I thought they didn't look right, put the pulse ox on here, their, you know, saturation's 80%, and I'm like, that's why this little bugger comes in handy. So that's why it's really great when you've got like those flexible spending accounts at the end of the year to go to CVS and buy these little buggers. And if you got a coupon, holy shit. But it's great to have these kind of tools for things like that. Same thing, when you're walking in the, you know, cafeteria and somebody doesn't look good, but they're not even a patient. I mean, we have had family members go into cardiac arrest in the hospital before. You just never know, and you might need things like that. So I have a handy dandy pulse ox. So I keep extra batteries for it too, and on my other things. So that's that. Of course, I have my ginormous thing of tape. I love this kind of tape. It's not the fabric tape, but I have a big giant one of those too. And my giant pair of hemostats. And then this big one here. So I have this little flashlight, and this is the one you use to check people's pupils, because this will not blind them. It's the must have. And I have extra batteries for this in here too. Coincidentally, the same one for the pulse ox. In here I have dry erase marker, because you know they always have them goddamn boards in the rooms, and we're supposed to put stuff on there, otherwise we get little nasty grams from the up and ups that we don't put our names in the plan of care and all that stuff. Half the time there's no dry erase marker. I have dry erase marker. I have permanent marker for writing on people's dressings, and then regular pens and a highlighter, because I am one of those OCD nurses that does highlight and staple their discharge instructions. Can you imagine? I am that OCD nurse. So, and let's see what else. And the one thing, this right here. And it's a manual blood pressure cuff, because if you're a trauma nurse, the first blood pressure you get is a manual. Full fucking stop. That's it. At every legit level 1 trauma center, they're gonna want a manual fucking pressure. And you better know how to do it by palpation too. So, and if I get a pressure that I don't on the machine that I don't trust, I'm always gonna verify. So, and docs are gonna ask you to verify. And also, when push comes to shove and you can't find a damn pressure bag, well, there you go. There's a damn pressure bag right there. And I've been to some pretty raggedy-ass broke dick hospitals that don't have pressure bags and you need fluids in, and they, of course, they don't even have a level 1. You just use that, push that shit in. So, plus, I'm old. I'm 44 years old. I can calculate drip rates, which is why I wear a watch. You can tell who's an old school nurse, because I can calculate drip rates. I count respirations and whatnot. If I see a nurse without a watch, I judge. I'm just saying. I'm a little judgy, because I used to chart on paper too. I remember when I was in nursing school, and my professor had done much volunteering during things like in Haiti and during Katrina, and a lot of nursing during that. And she was like, you will be able to nurse in a war zone or a disaster zone when I am done with you. You will be able to nurse without electricity, she goes, because, you know, we need nurses that can do stuff like that. Because that's what she did. I went to a Catholic university, Marymount University, Arlington, Virginia. So anyway, so she did a lot of like volunteer work and stuff like that, and you don't have luxuries there like IV pumps. You have basic supplies because you are there donating your time to people who need you, and you have limited supplies. You might not have you probably won't have electricity, so you don't have IV pumps. You are calculating drip rates using a watch and your eyeballs and calculating that way. So yeah, that's why when I can calculate a drip rate with my watch. So, you know, not to be a little preachy, but, you know, and it's, when you're calculating respirations, come on, you kind of gotta have a watch for that. But anyway, in the other pocket, ACLS protocols. Gotta have those. Even though I don't do peds anymore because I prefer segregated ERs, I still have my Broslow tape. Old habits die hard. Oh, I hate doing visual acuities. But there's always going to be a doctor who wants you to do visual acuities, but who can find that big stupid thing that you have to roll around the ER. So I have that, and then it's got the pupil thing on the back. Just order sets, but my absolute favorite is my FRED book, my frequently referenced emergency drug book, and this has your like it's like amio. It tells you your drip rates, your titration, how quickly you can do it, because you can't, I mean, I don't ever rely on my memory for things that are important as pressors and how quickly and by how much I can titrate them. Some nurses think it's cool to memorize it and try and just spit it out, and that's great if you can memorize it and spit it out. But if it's my loved one and it's their septic and they're dying and they need to be on a pressor, I want you to be 1,000% sure of that fucking drip rate. And how you do that, you pull out the book and you look and you double check, because that's accurate. And I'm just that way. So, because, you know, we all know the ER is chaos and crazy, but there is some ways to bring a little order to chaos. And I do believe that there's not so little time that you can't be 100% sure about the fucking dosage. I'm just saying, that's just me. So I'm always, when it comes to high risk critical meds, I don't ever rely on my memory. And yes, I know y'all are probably a lot younger than my old ass, you know, us middle-aged people, our memories do get a little, you know, but even when I was younger, I was still that way. I like to, you know, not go by the book, but there's just some things that I'm a little OCD about, and drugs and drip rate, yeah, things like that. That's just too important, you know. There's some things I think that, you know, that they get a little hung up on, and administration does, and I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous. Really, come on. That I think is just too much. They play too much with some of that, you know. Like when they were trying to enforce, oh God, what was it? Covering of tattoos. Who gives a flying fuck? I'm sorry. I saw a resident who was tatted up all the way here. I couldn't give a flying fuck. If he knew what the heck he was doing, he could be tatted up all the way and sleeved. Who gives a shit? But if he did fucking fucked up his drug dosaging, then I would have a problem with. So, you know, some things I just think are really just asinine, but being particular about drug rates and things like that, that's a thing for me. But anyway, now I'm rambling. But I hope you enjoyed this video. So this is my duty belt. This is, you know, I don't want to say what's in my bag, but whatever. This is what I take to work with me. Oh, and my stethoscope. Every day when I go to work. This is my duty belt. So I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm starting a new contract here soon, and ought to be a fun one. So level 1 urban trauma center. So mommy's gonna have a good time. So hopefully I'll have some good stories to tell. So anyway, if you like this video, you want to see, I don't know, more like this, although I only have one duty belt. I don't know what the hell else I've done. But if you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. You can share this video. Let me know what you think. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.